All right, welcome back. So here we are, we're Module 10. Now, several of you have probably already completed the bonus assignment from Module 8 or are in the process of completing it. Now, in that bonus assignment, we have Section 4 of the bonus assignment, LinkedIn Learning course, and the certification certificate goes along with it, is monitoring and maintenance. Now, the monitoring and maintenance are what we deal with in this module to a degree. Okay. So the videos beyond this, I'll point you back to that module or section 4 and that LinkedIn Learning bonus points assignment. Okay. So with this, you're going to have the traditional questions at the end of the module or end of the chapter for homework. And you're going to have 3 tasks associated with the CyberHub Server 1 that we've utilized. And essentially, all you're going to do is go in and run Performance Monitor, see how that virtual machine is performing. Go and run Resource Monitor, see how it's doing. Run Task Manager, see how it's doing. Grab a screenshot of each of the 3 and explain why you would use one over the other, and give an example of when you would use one over the other, comparing those 3 tools. Okay. Now, with that said, that's where we're headed. We've got to deal with hardware itself, and as with the previous module, a lot of it was rehash that would have come from CET2000 or the CET2792, so the Intro to Networking and the computer hardware. So with those concepts under your belt, you've got a grasp of how the processor works. And it works in a frequency or a speed, which is in hertz. Today's processors traditionally run on gigahertz. And we talk about the nuances, the ins and outs of the processor itself. Now, the 2 key components to our computer, not that there's not more than the 2, but the 2 primary ones when we're doing work is, first and foremost, the processor, which we started the chapter off with. Secondary, it's going to be RAM, and focus on RAM and not ROM, but talk about RAM because RAM is what we use as we're working. Short-term volatile memory. So if the processor is doing something, it's using RAM. It can have inputs come from and go get data from long-term storage, but the transactions that it's performing live in RAM, and when it's done doing its work, it lets it go. Okay. So if you don't have enough RAM, that's an issue. If you don't have a processor that's fast enough to do all of the work that you're throwing at it, that's an issue. So we need to be able to go into the system and look to see, do we have enough RAM for what we're trying to do? Is the processor getting bloated with what we're throwing at it? Is the disk space full? Am I doing too much running back and forth to a disk to perform whatever it is? Is my disk not even local? Is it over the network? So am I beating up my network connection? What architecture do I have? Am I running 32-bit or 64-bit? It has a lot to do with how much data is being transferred back and forth when we're talking about the efficiencies or how much work can actually get done. Do we have a removable drive? And if we do, how is it connected? Is it USB? Which USB? Keep in mind that these systems are only as fast as the slowest component within the pathway. So if you've got a fast drive and you've got a fast motherboard processor and you're using the slowest USB connection available, that's as fast as it's going. But if you're using the latest and greatest USB and it's faster than old ones, that's setting up the system to run faster. So always look at all the components involved. Graphics cards can have a GPU associated with them and enhance our ability to process whatever's taken place. If the system itself gets overheated, that's an issue. Power supply fails. We don't have enough power coming to it. That's an issue. Okay. So there's a lot of little things that we've got to go check to see how's it doing? Is it dirty? Is it healthy? It's the best way to look at it. And it's like going in to see the doctor. How you doing? Have any problems? Anything changed since the last time I saw you? Those are the kind of things that we look at when we're looking at these systems. Let me know what's going on. What's taking place? Have there been any issues? Okay, last time you were here, we ran some tests. And you come back, we're going to run some more tests and see, are you still where you were last time you visited? Same concept with these servers. We get a best baseline when it comes to how much processor is being utilized, how much memory is being utilized, how much back and forth with a disk and the read-write operations, how bad are we beating up the network connection. All those little things, we set a benchmark and say, here's what's normal. So that the next time we go in, ooh, this isn't normal. This system's really getting beat up. Then we can go find out, what is it that's beating the system up? And where do we do that? Do we do it in Resmon? Perfmon? Task Manager? All right. So here they walk through each one of them. Perfmon, Resmon, Task Manager. And the different counters to track the data. We can go set up alerts to let us know when bad things have happened. Save logs of what's taken place so that when things happen, we can track a history of it. And if it's significant, it'll let us know, hey, you know this just happened? So it's not much different than wearing some medical alert device that, hey, your heartbeat has gone beyond what your doctor wants it to be. And it sends a notification out over Wi-Fi or over whatever connection you may have this device set up on to let the doctor know, hey, we've got an issue here, and here's what's going on. Okay, so there's our questions at the end. This is a fairly straightforward module, and I will see you in the next one, which is updating and troubleshooting.